Hey guys, it's Danny. Today we're gonna talk about Tolumnias. I recently got myself a new Tolumnia. Slowly but surely, I am trying to remake my Tolumnia collection because I lost it all last year. And if you don't know the story, check it down below in the description. I'll add it there. It's kind of a sad video, I'm warning you, but I think it's quite educational and it can teach you something very good. Anyway, back to our story. This is my Tolumnia crush, the Tolumnia Gentin Volcano. I tried to purchase this one last year as well, but it arrived in pretty bad condition and I wasn't able to revive it, partially because the orchid wasn't in good condition at all, there was no live root, partially because I didn't go to moss straight away. So long story short, I purchased it again, and as you can see, it's kind of falling out of its pot. This is what happens on transport, that's okay. So I'll show you the setup that I will use. I'm kind of going back to the roots, to the way that I used to grow my Tolumnias, and I was successful. But there will be a few twists today, literally, as you will see. And just to show you a little bit where I keep my Tolumnias now, look at this. Ever since I got my wired shelf, I gained so much real estate for hanging Tolumnia baskets or net pots. But we have a little issue, and I think you can see this one, which is the Tolumnia I got for my birthday. We have a little issue with the hanger here. Look at that. I tried to make a little wire hanger. I glued it to this net pot. I actually made a hole here, but it gave in. So this is not okay what's going on here. So today, we're actually gonna try out a hook that I saw on Maria's channel, so I will attempt to do one myself, and I really cannot guarantee that I will do a good job. I'm not a very crafty person, but hey, can it be worse than this? I don't believe it can. Look at this. No, this cannot be. All right, so let's go at the repotting table. I need to unpot this Tolumnia, and I'll take you all with me, so that's it. Let's get started. All right, so first of all, let's unpot the orchid. Just like with any other type of orchid, well, no need to squeeze on the pot actually. I received this orchid yesterday and I watered it, but in the meantime everything got dry. No worries though, because the orchid just came out of the pot. And I do believe I have a part of the orchid which is dead and dry. Can we see these remains? I think I can easily remove them. And it is actually a very good idea to remove stuff like these on your orchids, no matter if they're Tolumnias or anything else, because they will not help the orchid in any way. Some people like to use some dead roots because they anchor the orchid or they retain more water for the orchid. Yes, but it's not the type of water you want. It's gonna be a pretty acidic and full of byproducts because this thing will start to decompose. Also, the dead roots will not anchor the orchid for way too long because at some point they will decompose. So they will serve no more purpose pretty soon. Moreover, they will acidify the media. So I'm not really okay with leaving on dead stuff on the orchid. So I always like to remove the dead sheaths, dead growths in particular if I can. This is actually a sympodial orchid, it's not monopodial. Each new fan is the equivalent of a pseudobulb. So what I did here was just separate the fans. There is no open wound actually. So let's see, what else do I have here? I have a little piece of bark which was not attached. I have, oh, this is actually charcoal. I'm gonna leave that one. That one doesn't decompose anytime soon. This is an old growth, but it is good, as you can see. And these roots, they look bad, but they're kind of stiff. So I think I'm gonna leave them on. There are not many. These are definitely dead here. And they actually came off on their own, no need for the scissors. And there we have it. I think the orchid is pretty okay. So I sprayed some hydrogen peroxide on the root system just to eliminate the risk of actually having some snails. And look how many roots actually greened up. This orchid is in much better shape than my older Gentin Volcano. Now though, I want to prepare my net pot and try to make an M hook. Alright, so my net pot is the CZ Garden one. I really like these pots. I made a review video for them. Check it down below if you missed it. They gave me a few, so I still have a few of them to use. I also have some galvanized wire here. I think it's the 1.5 millimeter diameter. I might be wrong because I don't have the tag anymore, but it is quite sturdy but flexible at the same time. And of course the wire cutter. Alright, so if you don't know Maria here on YouTube, check her video down below, I'll link it there. She recently posted a video about making an M hook for net pots or pots in general or baskets, whatever, which is meant to keep your pot hanging and also be very sturdy. Now when it comes to sturdiness, as we've seen, I didn't do a good job, so I really want to try out this M hook she does. And fingers crossed I can do a similar job as her. Alrighty, what do I need to do? Teach me, Maria. Okay, so I think it's safe to start with a length of wire. I'm actually redoing this because my first attempt was not long enough. So being that I have a big lip here and I intend to put the M hook through this, I needed a bigger length of wire. So let's do this again. I think I got the idea. So now we need to go at the middle of this length and bend these two sides, try to make them as even as possible, so we obtain this U-shaped formation. Then we go somewhere near the base of the U and we bend these wires towards us. There we go. So I have this sort of M formation, and then we go in the back of the M, turn it upside down, and bend these wires again towards us. Oh, the shear force is lacking. There we go. And I'm so happy that I didn't cut and do my nails just yet, because I'm pretty sure I'm gonna break another nail. I'm so horrible with my nails. But there we have them, or rather it. This is my little crooked M hook, but I think it will do. So now this hook can actually go inside the vents of the net pot. Let's shape it a little bit. And these sides can now bend over the lip of the pot to make it more secure. So I will cut the excess wire. And then I'll try to bend these loose ends a little bit more so I don't get scratched in them. Try to put them under the lip. There we go. And there we go. Oh, I do believe this is a lot more stable than what I did with the other one. Let's go try it out. Now I am making some adjustments to fit my shelf here to make it sit a little bit straighter, but definitely it is a lot better than my version. Where is my version? I seem to have lost it. Here it is. So I didn't have to make a hole through the pot and I didn't have to glue it. And yeah, it's a lot more stable. So yay, I'm liking this. It's not the prettiest looking hook you've ever seen, but I'm pretty happy with it. Okay, so now let's go and plant our Tolumnia in this pot. Alright, so the medium we're gonna use for this orchid is sphagnum moss. I'm gonna use it as it is, no combinations with anything else. And even though moss tends to be quite a very water retentive medium, not necessarily the most suited for Tolumnias, the fact that this is a net pot, it's full of ventilation, will make it dry out very, very fast. So you need a medium that is water retentive with something like this, and particularly if you live in a warm climate. So something like this can actually dry up within a day or two in summertime for me. In wintertime, of course, it's not gonna happen that fast, but I can control the amount of water. In the wintertime, this will be very useful in summer. I need a little bit more moss here. At the same time, I think you can see I'm not compacting this medium, I'm just arranging it in the pot. With moss, there is no circumstance in which I would pack it, I think. Not even in a net pot. It is very water retentive, even if it's loose. The good thing is, it's gonna be a lot more airy if it's loose. So now let's put some sphagnum moss around the roots. I'm not gonna worry about the air pockets or things of the sorts. Tolumnias and most other epiphytic orchids love air pockets. The only problem with big air pockets is that you might have a part of the pot which does not retain water. So in that area, particularly if you're dealing with terrestrials or very, very water-loving plants, they might have some issues in that area because there isn't enough moisture. Other than that, with most epiphytic orchids, air pockets are perfectly fine. Roots need some spaces to grow in as well, don't they? And the air pockets are those spaces. And there we have it. My orchid is all potted up. We can see that the moss is actually covering all of the vents, but it's very, very loose. Now I'm contemplating on the top to let it be. Usually I would put a little bit of a top layer even with something like this, but I want to try and cultivate some moss here. Not sphagnum moss, but there is a type of moss that almost every orchid comes with, every orchid that is potted in sphagnum moss, that is. So I'm trying to cultivate it because I really like how it spreads out. Let me just show you really fast. There you go. Do you see how incredibly pretty this is? When did I pot this orchid? This is one of my Masdevallias. Not even a month ago, I believe, or maybe a month ago. And it's already starting to spread really, really, really nice. It actually grows really nice if it has the right conditions. Now, I'll give it, that Tolumnia will dry out. Maybe it's not gonna be the best thing for moss, but this is a very, very resilient moss I discovered. And if I don't cover it with the bark, it does spread out. So I'm willing to try it out. Let me give you an intense close-up so you can see something. Do you see some little pods on top of the moss? They're like little stems which arise from the moss. Well, those are the spores. And I can cultivate those, I can plant them, and they will actually grow to be new strands of moss. I discovered this moss grows really fast and multiplies really fast, so I can take only a few strands from this one, put it on top of the other medium, and I can start a colony. This is not without risk. Whenever you're sharing plants, you can share disease as well. So I need to be careful. I need to be sure that there's nothing wrong with the plant. So far, I don't believe there is anything wrong with the plant. But I'm thinking to get some of these spores or maybe a little strand, put it on the Tolumnia basket and see if it extends. So I'll go ahead and do that now, actually. Let me just show you what I'm taking from the other pot. Do you see this? This is a little spore. I don't know if it has a different name. Actually, it might. But there it is. That's what I'm planting on that pot. And just to be sure that I do have something starting there, I'm gonna get just a little bit of a strand, not a spore, and just put it here. There we go. Maybe another one. I like how this is spreading as well, so I don't want to mess it up, but let's see. Okay, so I didn't take much. I only put a few spores, a few strands here. You can barely see them. I hope you can see, but we'll see. I hope it multiplies because I have to say it's beautiful. You guys might know that I talked about this. I like having a green carpet on top of my pots rather than bark, obviously. But the thing is, this moss does not develop on top of bark. I have it on my bulbophyllum and it did not develop within a year. It just stays small, stays where there is more moisture. This, on the other hand, has started to spread so fast. So I think the key to it is actually having a top layer of moss. And if the moss can stay wet almost all the time, that's great. I don't know how this will do because this will dry out. I'm not gonna keep it soggy and wet all of the time. If I do that, I'm not sure how the roots will respond, and also I'm gonna have some algae issues. So I don't have much confidence that I'm gonna get a carpet of moss, but with this, it looks so pretty, and I do wanna multiply it and see where it goes. All right, so with that said, I think we're pretty much done here. Let's go to the wire shelf. All right, so I actually changed up a little bit the hook because there appears to be a difference in this side and this side. So you see, I have a gap here. So if I would put this orchid like this, it would just hang downwards. So what I did was extend this little part here so I don't hook on this bar, but rather this bar. And this keeps my Tolumnia a lot straighter. I am much happier with this. So I will do the same for the other Tolumnia basket that I have. And I'll try to keep in mind that this M should be a little bit longer. But yeah, I'm really happy about this one, and there we go. All I needed to do was customize it a little bit for my shelving here. Anyway, you have in the description Maria's channel, go check her out. Also, I'll link you to some other Tolumnia videos, more happy ones. And thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today. Hope this was helpful, gave you some ideas, maybe it inspired you. And with that said, you know the drill. Like or dislike this video below, subscribe to my channel for regular orchid videos, tutorials, Q&As, you know the fun stuff we post here. And if you really enjoy my channel and would like to help it grow, do consider visiting the merch store down below in the description. And thank you so much in advance. With that said, I'll see you guys next time. Bye!